And we're live. Welcome again to our Lego Masters chat. This is number 4, chat 4. Welcome, Kirsti and Dan. Thank you for joining us tonight.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Talking all things Lego and Lego Masters. So tell us a bit about your experience on Lego Masters. How's it been?
Full on. Kirsti and I, we never did things the easy way. So it was a bit of up and down, high highs, low lows. But
you had some payoffs. The suspension bridge was a win where you proved
you can suspend Lego from some strings. Like those Lego strings are actually quite strong.
We all learned.
So that was a big gamble. I think we took a lot of risks and gambles on the show.
Yeah, I think we did. I think that's something that I really enjoyed, is the fact that we were doing things our way. You know, sometimes it feels like there's like supposed to be a right way to do it, and I like the fact that we were doing it, maybe a bit outside of the box. Yeah.
I love that.
Hopefully not the wrong way.
You guys. Yeah. It's always a bit sad when people take the safe option of things that I've seen someone build that in a previous season or something, it's fun to just see people come up with new ideas and just go, I'm going to do it even though Brickman said nah.
Yeah. Well, we're not the only ones that. I think there's quite a few of other teams who had been a few challenges where they just backed themselves and it's like
that's true. Yeah.
Showed Brickman that they're pretty confident in their ways of doing things, and
So you guys hadn't met before Lego Masters, have you?
We still haven't met. We've never been in the same room together.
That was all blue screen.
It's really nice.
How did you find the whole process of building with someone that you've never built with before?
Well, I haven't built with anyone before. Like most of the times, just build by yourself kind of thing. That was all completely new. I think one thing Kirsti and I, we worked out we were pretty messy together, working together. Like our table was bricks everywhere. But no, I think it's just, I think we both just treat it like any other kind of project or something where you're working in a team. So you just sort of discuss what you're going to do and divvy it up and touch base.
Just trying to give respect to each other so that each of us have got part of it. Because I think that's really important. Sometimes one person will take the lead, but it's really important that you can figure out how to, for both of you to lay claim to it. I think that's really important. And hard because I've never built with anyone either. It was actually the first AFOL I've ever met in real life. So, there you go.
You had never watched Lego Masters before, so...
No, but I did, as I told Hamish, like in the last challenge, because I watched the Lego Bricksmith. Sorry. When we were filming, so saw that.
You watched the worst series of Lego Masters.
Shouldn't have watched that one.
Yeah.
So did you guys find that there was certain parts of the build that you were gravitating towards each time? Like if there was a technical bit that Dan would do it and then you would do the flare, or I don't know.
I think that's a pretty natural thing for us to have gone to, because those each of us have got areas that fascinate us, and so you're drawn towards that part. So if there is like a problem, especially if it's about movement or physics, then obviously Dan's going to be going straight onto it. And if it's about like a way to use parts creatively, that's what I like. I'm a total part slut, so I'm totally going to go that way. But I think we did each of us try and take on and do different things that we hadn't done. So, because that's the whole point. You don't go on there just to do the same thing, do you?
Yeah.
You want to stretch yourself. You want to improve. You want to better yourself. So that's why when I applied, I can't believe I got in with this video. Like when they ask you what you did, and I was going, I wanted to be in a room where everyone was better than me, and I was. That first day you went, everyone was better than me. But you go, because that's what lifts you, is being around people who are excellent. It just makes you bring your game, you know? You get inspired. Yeah. I know sometimes you might feel like you can get depressed by people just being so talented or working so hard, but I find it invigorating to be around people who are passionate and just really good at things.
Yeah. Had you done a lot of mocking before, like with Lego?
I do mock. I only mock. I don't build sets. I do buy sets, but I harvest them for parts.
Yeah.
But nothing like these, because my interest is very, very small. The people who know me like online, because I've got quite a lot of friends online, to see me do anything that uses more than 15 pieces is pretty strange, because I'm a parts limit builder. So I actually host some competitions. So 12 pieces is normally my maximum. And my favorite thing is unibricking. So just with one part. So not really a build. That's my absolute favorite. Just using one part.
Interesting.
They didn't have that on the show. I would have loved that. Imagine having 10 hours just to pick one part.
It did seem that the builds were a bit shorter.
That would have been a pretty quick challenge.
That would have. Were the builds a bit shorter this season? Did it feel like the time pressure was unnecessarily short for what they were asking you to do?
I'll let Dan answer that.
Yeah, I definitely felt they really were applying the pressure for this. I was kind of looking forward to sort of some longer builds and having some sort of time to finesse things and all that, but it really seemed like they just wanted to that pressure was building as quick as you can and just doing that. Like some of the smaller builds were actually kind of fun, like the 3-hour ones and the 6-hour ones, because like you kind of knew their expectations weren't as high because there's only so much you can do in a 3-hour or 6-hour kind of thing. And some of those were like, you just know that they're sort of like the drone one, like it didn't have to be too fancy, you just had to sort of survive and it may not survive. And so some of the other ones you just sort of just didn't invest too much into those, you just sort of just did them. But some, like the Grandscape, having 10 hours to do a Grandscape, like that was crazy insane for us. I'm surprised so many people managed to do that and put down so many bricks, because I think that was the same as like the bridge. We had 10 hours for the bridge and our fingers were sore after that. Like a lot of teams are just smashing down bricks to build solid columns and things. So yeah, that was what I chose to do this year.
Do you have a favorite build so far? Like, what was your favorite theme to build so far?
I think I've got a few. It's like children, can't pick a favorite. Like, I think our chicken was a cool one. Yeah.
I really liked the rockabilly rocket. Rocket. That was cool.
Yeah,
I do love a rockabilly.
And for me as well, like the bridge, that was like one of the ones that I was hoping for, because like I really like those structural kind of challenges and something where it's sort of building, testing the limits of Lego and stuff. So that's another one of my favorite ones so far.
Yeah, and you made it look good too. A lot of people like just kind of farted out a bridge, but like yours actually looked really great, and you guys made that episode exciting. I was thinking, I hope they don't ever like do a bridge one again, because I just think it's awful to have to build a bridge. Because like engineering, oh god, it just seems so hard. But yeah, you guys made that fun for us, so thank you.
Yeah, and I think that, and like with Kirsti was saying, we just didn't want to do things the same way. Like I've seen some of the other challenges on other episodes, and I just wasn't. I kind of was, my approach was maybe like work smarter, not harder with the bridge kind of thing, and just make it something fun as well. Like I didn't want, like I'm always, when we're building, I was thinking of the viewer as well, like my kids, what they would think of the show as well. So just do something different. And like that bridge thing was awesome because like I really felt the sense that Brickman didn't even know if it was going to survive, and just he was like, "What are these guys doing?" Like it's just.
And you were like, "Oh, it's too long." Done.
Done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the best.
Yeah.
So with the longer builds, there's this question that we get asked to ask you guys all the time. Is the longer builds are obviously split over a few days filming. How do you cope with that? Is it by the end of the first part of the build, are you ready to just knock off and go to bed and then come back the next day refreshed to finish the build, or was it more I'm excited to keep going and I want to keep building?
That's a great question, because you actually have no awareness of time whatsoever.
Okay.
Because you're so focused on what you're doing. Like if somebody could tell me it's 3 weeks, you go, yeah, wow, okay. And anytime they tell you like it's you're 2 hours and you go, what? Like you got no awareness of it whatsoever. And if you're struggling and there's a break, so you need to go out for a meal and what have you, that can be great. That can be a godsend, because it forces you to step away and you go, oh, okay, I just can't actually do this now. But if you're in the zone and you're just being interrupted and you're going, but I just need to, so it depends on where you're at. If there's a build break, it depends on where you're at with the build and where you're feeling. So you're not going to have the same reaction each time. Well, that's for me. Obviously, I can't speak for anyone else, but that's how I experienced it. Sometimes I was like, just let me stay, just let me get it done. And sometimes you're like, God, thank God, just because I don't know where I am, let me just take a moment and have a breath. Because when you're on the floor, every single moment counts. And so if you're just stopping to step back, that feels like you're wasting time, even though it's essential. You need to.
Yeah.
And in the editing, it looks like the clock is up there all the time, so you guys can look at it anytime you want and go, yep, okay, I've got this long, I've got this long. But actually you don't, right? They don't tell you how long you've got until Hamish tells you, which could be randomly, right?
You start to freak out every time, like, because also Hamish is not on the floor all the time. Then you see him walk out and you go, oh, he's either going to do a time call or he's going to do a silly skit kind of thing. But yes, and you work it out, like to do like an hour mark and then a half hour, and then towards the end, like you're freaking out so much. Like the last, just like, damn.
That red light, and the first time, because I hadn't seen it, I didn't know that was going to happen, and I was like, are we going to build like this for an hour, like with the light? Because like I'm really bad with colours anyway, but with the red light, I could hardly even see the bricks. I was like, what? Thank God it doesn't.
You can't see the bricks anyway or work out what colour they are anyway, Kirsty.
Well, yes, for your fault. Just go, what's this?
That's so impressive, though, that you're colourblind and you're able to create such amazing colour things that actually like look good, don't look like you've just slapped the wrong colours together. Like, I don't understand. It's amazing. It's like a superpower.
So now I'm just picturing like a Marvel movie with that as a superpower. Like you're going to save the world with that.
Colorblind. Look, I can like
colorblind girl. Chroma. Well, you get tricks like with anything else. You sort of you figure out ways that help, and some stuff I just don't. You leave it. Like for instance, with the astronaut build, I know that Brickman said that we should do like all the same color and having the difference, but I needed the contrast of the ground. There's no way I could have done that if I'd had it all the same color. Like absolutely no way. I needed that to be able to see it. So I needed I need colors that contrast beside each other. And when you're doing gradations of it, I take a lot of care to know which colors are which and put them in different places. Like when I did the lighthouse build, thank God I was wearing a pinafore. It had pockets. So I was able to have this pocket. This was the light blue trans. This was the darker blue one. And then in the front, I had the clear, the dark trans, and then I had the blues and the blacks. So the blacks were further away. So if I just went straight over to that edge, I knew it would be black and then move. So I'd just go backwards and forwards, in and out, backwards and forwards, in and out. So it was just where it is. So that was it.
Is that why you always looked busy, Kirsty, and Dan always looked relaxed? Because you had extra things to do.
No. This is because, like, I actually had some friends who were going, God, if Dan had maybe not gone around, and I'm going, no, we just have really different styles, and we both understand that and respect that, because I'm building and unbuilding, like Giacometti. Do you know Giacometti is one of my favorite artists? So he does, well, he's dead now, but he used to do sketches that were over years. He'd draw, and then he'd get an eraser and he'd rub them out and then draw them over and back again. So it's constant motion. Same with his sculptures. So it's up, you're doing it up and changing and doing it up and changing. That's how I build. So I'm constantly building up and moving it and changing it, seeing it from different bits. Dan is doing that, but he's doing it in his head first. It's like, this is how it looks to me. It's like he's got a studio inside his head and he's turning a 3D model and he's going, that's going to work, that's going to be. And then he'll take it and he'll do like his fourth iteration actually in the bricks, and then he'll go, no, that's not quite right, and then he'll change it. So he's got more stillness in the way that he builds, but he's just as busy as me.
Yeah.
It's a mess up here when it's going. Like, I was going crazy in the head. But no, that's like part of me, even just with day-to-day stuff. Like, I do my best thinking and problem solving when I'm doing something else. So I'll go for a walk at work or something, that kind of thing. And also part of me walking around, I just want to, like, you got this opportunity to hang out with 6 or 15 other great Lego builders. I want to go see what they're doing and how they're doing stuff. So
did you get time to see other people's builds? Were you sort of laser focused on your builds?
No, we'll focus on ours, but it's like there's some people just want to see how they're building, and everyone's built. It's amazing that with every challenge, like, we all build different things, even in the same brief, like, and so it's just cool seeing what other people did and what techniques and just how they're going about certain things. And especially like Joss and Henry, man, like Joss is just awesome with his techniques and what he does. So yes. I wasn't going to miss up the opportunity of just like getting to hang out with him and see how he builds stuff. So yeah.
I remember Andrew said that when we interviewed them first, and I said, how did you do the moving how did you know how to do the mechanical thing? I didn't think you'd done many mocks for I think it was the taco truck, maybe.
Oh yeah, taco, yeah.
And he said, Dan showed me. And I was like, how did Dan have time to like show you how to do mechanical stuff when he was trying to build his rubber chicken? And then we watched further episodes and saw that, Brick Dan would go around and give everyone pointers on how to do things. And I was like, that's so sweet.
You know what? I don't think it comes across like in edit, because it's interesting, because like we know how long we were on the floor and then we see how short they are.
Yeah. And
it doesn't come across just how supportive. I mean, I know people go, they're emotionally supportive, but everybody, there was no one there that wasn't actually going, try this, or if you were looking for parts, they would go, they're here, or even if you've gone, I don't have time, and you're thinking you go, they'd actually scoop it up for you, bring and go, is this the one that you need? And here it is, so that next time you went, you could get some. Like, everybody was helping everybody. And when you're going around, because everybody tried to do a lap of the room, but obviously it focuses on Dan, because he's stopping and thinking and looking, and and he's so helpful when it's really technical. But everybody's moving around because you want to see the inspiring things that people are doing. And you also know after the first build, you don't get a chance to see them. Like, you're going, it'll be fine, we'll be able to see it when we're done. You don't. You don't. You're out of there. And then they pull it to pieces and break it up, and it gets washed and comes back. So it's ephemeral art, and you have to see it as soon as you can. That's the only time you've got.
And you don't have cameras in there, right? So you can't take your own photos of your builds.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That sucks.
Yeah.
How were the people that were supporting you in the brick pit, like the people that were pulling apart the models at the end of the
Sorry,
day?
I didn't hear that.
So
The
how were the people supporting in the brick pit? Like, obviously there's brick fairies that are pulling apart the models at the end of each day and or sorting and cleaning and everything. We don't really see any of the support stuff on the camera, but we know there's hidden doors in the brick pit that they come in and clean up while no one's watching. But how are the support staff on the show? Like,
you don't really you don't normally see many people. Like, so if you need certain things and it's used, you will actually go to, so of all of the crew that's there, like on the floor, you will actually go to the people who are in the art department and you go, this is what we're looking for, this particular piece, is there more? And they will search for it, and then they will come in through their special door that we can't go through, don't know what's behind or anything, and then they'll tell you, because they actually have a designated place for spares, so they'll put them in there so that you can get the parts that you need from there. And so someone, if they can, will let you know, because obviously they don't want to come up on camera. And if they see anybody else that's in there, they'll let them know and say, can you just tell? So, and then if you did, obviously you will. So we don't.
Yeah. So you don't see them.
We didn't get to see the people who are doing such great stuff as very often.
It's kind of like when you order some bricks online. So you just go online and order some bricks, and then you get excited when you get told they've arrived. You can go and collect them. So it's sort of those little fun moments when you get that little tap or someone comes and you, woohoo, my pieces, and you go and grab them, start doing it, and then you realize you need some other pieces. So then you go and ask again. So
I guess they don't appear in Bricklink Ziploc bags like they do at home, though.
No, I've got so many Ziploc bags at home for all the.
We have an audience question, which is kind of cool. I know you can't keep what you built, but are you allowed to recreate them?
I don't know if we're allowed to, but I'm going to. So.
Which ones? All of them?
Well, I've started, like, some of the other contestants have made like little tributes to their builds that have been posting up. So I'm currently designing and making a little rubber chicken version with one of the pullback motors. So just for a bit of fun. But like, I definitely want to make our futuristic car again. I want to make that.
I want to do the lighthouse. I think that would be great at a show, because it didn't come across on screen the way it did in person, and it had a lot of power. Like, I
thought it was very striking on camera, but you're saying it was even more striking.
Really well.
I promise you, because it was something. Yeah.
Oh, you got to spare.
Is it disappointing that you can't keep the builds? Is it?
Sorry, Wade.
Sorry.
Is it disappointing that you can't keep some of the builds? Like, if there was one build that you've done, which would you have kept? If you could have to pick one.
Oh, but yes and no. Like, also, like, when I went on the show, I thought, all right, because like when I build it at home, I have certain standards. Like, it has to be like be able to pick it up without falling over and join together and all that kind of thing. But on the show, you learn you have to start taking a few shortcuts and stuff. So yeah, some of the things that are built, you wouldn't be able to pick it up. It's going to fall apart and that kind of thing. So, but definitely, I do want to do tributes. Like, I'd love to do our bridge again, like, and get that to work. I swear that thing would work. Like, it's just we missed a few bits. Like, if you just had like 10 minutes to Q&A after you built it and just fix up a few little things. That's one thing I'd love to build, but need a few thousand red bricks and a little bit of string and something to jiggle it. But Monday.
I'm thinking about that question about if there's one you'd keep. I wouldn't want to keep any of the builds, but I just wish that we could have been able to say, can you take pictures or photos, videos of this specific stuff? Because there's a lot of beautiful details, like in everybody's builds, that you just don't get to see. And you're going, some things even when you're taking shortcuts, some things you just look at and they're just sublime, and it's gone. Like, and you only get what an editor decides is gonna fit with, you know, the short amount of time you've got there. Like, I'm actually surprised for a show that's called Lego Masters how little of the Lego we get to see. And I'm like going, and I'm going, imagine if you could actually have, like, for certain sections, if you have people like have a breakaway and just go, so this bit here, this is how I did this, you know, ding, ding, and, you know, with the bricks and do that. Like, that's what I would love. How cool would that be?
They did kind of do that in some of the previous seasons. They did some little breakaways. But obviously, they filmed it after. But, like, yeah, there was, like, Jen and Jody did some. They're like, oh, this is how we made our reindeers. And someone did how they made
webisodes, though, right?
The wave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
there wasn't a whole episode. It was just a clip. It was just a clip on the. But it was on channel 9 though, like on
their platform.
Maybe we could get you back one day and you can show us some of your hidden techniques that you used as seen on Lego Masters.
As seen on Lego Masters, yeah. Talking about not having photos of the build, I was just thinking the other day, it'd be cool if they actually did like a 3D scan or just had some kind of way of capturing it in 3D, like, and then recreating it or something, even just not full detail, but just
camera.
That'd be cool as a gallery, as a virtual gallery, to be able to do that for all of them.
Like,
so you could, wow.
Yeah, like with technology advancing these days and stuff, like even you had a phone app or something, I don't know.
You should invent that phone app, Dan. You need to invent it.
Oh, okay, be out tomorrow.
Just for Lego.
Yeah.
Andrew was saying that as well, that in the first build, Drain the Ocean, where you had the Amelia Earhart wing thing, the whole back of it they didn't show to the audience, and we never got to see it, and they didn't even take photos. Like, they weren't given photos of the back of it. Like, there was all this detail back, and none of us saw any of it. We're just like,
Yep, that happens. Like with our spinning wheel, our carnival, there were actually 3 rides, and that doesn't come across in the pictures like at all. So there was the spinning wheel, and there was the drop ride, and there was actually also a pretty big pirate ship that swung underneath, but whatever.
Bastards.
Yeah.
All that effort.
Gone.
They take it apart. They don't store them in a Lego.
The funny thing was, like, talking about taking things apart. So with the bridge, I was a bit disappointed. Like, they when that was all over, because we were the last ones in that thing to get tested, and that they all came out to take it apart. And the way that I attached the strings to the pylons in the road, they couldn't figure out how to undo that. I just showed them how to undo that. Part of me was just like tempted just to leave it and like, you guys figure it out and whatever. Yeah. You can't figure it out how to take it apart. Why are you letting the masters themselves to undo it?
Ouch. Not everyone's as clever as you, Jan.
Aren't they?
So what's next for you guys? Are you doing any shows, or are you attending any Lego shows, or are you coming to Brickvention next year?
I'd love to come down to Brickvention. I think I'm going to take a bit of a break for the rest of this year from Lego, and I used up a lot of my brownie points going onto the show, so
fair enough.
I got to make up for that. But I think like next year I'd love to come down to Brickvention. That's always something I'd like to do. So I've got a few displays. Like I just recently, just before the show aired, I had a big Star Wars Hoth display with lots of moving parts and things. So I'd like to sort of show that. But then it'd be cool to do like a Lego Masters Roadshow where we just all sort of built our favorite builds from the show and just showed those off.
I thought they'd keep some of the models together so they could like tour around, even just the Lego stores, just set them up in the Lego stores and have people come along and see them.
But then you'd have someone who would use all 3 million bricks from the brick pit for the first build, and they keep it, and then there'll be no more bricks left to build anything else. It'll just be. But like thinking of like Joss and Henry's first build, that serpent snake thing, like that was heaps cool. the seahorses that Nick and Jean made, they were like super cute and stuff. And even like Trent and Paul, it's like their artwork things, like that's some of that stuff in that first build. It was just awesome. Like some of those were serious, could be serious display pieces. Like they were heaps.
Yeah,
cool.
they could.
The
could
jazz
pick
club, yeah.
the winner from each episode or something like that, and put it in a show. I'm sure.
It just
like
great
the
with
winner.
Fraggle and just it just.
Well, the
Heat
winner of
together,
season 1 had their Lego models displayed at the Legoland Discovery Center. So
Oh, cool.
there is
All of them?
there are options. Sorry,
All of them.
the three winners. Yeah,
Oh,
they
okay.
had the second and third one, I think, at the Legoland for a while.
Oh, like the winning builds, you mean?
The winning.
Yeah, the winning builds.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Sorry.
I was like, oh, all of their builds? Wait, what?
No, the winning builds. Yeah.
Okay, so they'll keep
It's
the
probably
last.
also a size thing. So I think like winning builds over the years have got bigger and bigger. So like seriously, lots of bricks go into the final builds.
Yeah.
And Lego's expensive. We know this because we're all AFOLs and it's crippling us financially.
Yeah. That's why we can't afford houses.
Or eat avocado.
Yeah.
So the question that we keep getting asked is, do you guys go home between episodes or filming? And we know that it's like the hotel. How did you find the hotel experience while you were filming? Was it annoying not to be able to go home, or because you guys were in the peak lockdown at that point?
Yeah, we're in a COVID bubble, so we couldn't even go to a cafe and sit down. It had to be takeaway. We had to wear masks all the time. Like restrictions were just starting to lift. And I actually remember salsa dancing started, and we could hear it and see it happening.
That's right.
There's no way we could go. And you're like, oh, but we all had each other, so we could go, hang out with each other. So we did. Obviously, you need time by yourself or into smaller groups and stuff, but we did all hang out together, which is, I suppose, why we sort of accelerated to how close we were, like from the get-go. So from what I'm hearing past seasons, it took a lot longer, and so it was people who were at the end who had that kind of bond, whereas we jumped in the deep end with each other and we just all really clicked. So, but it was tricky because it's just all about Lego. Like I've got about 9,000 hobbies and I didn't have any of them there. So it was like, you've got Lego when you're building, and then when you're at home to practice, like so at the hotel to practice, you can talk with other people who Lego's going to come up. Sometimes it might be Star Wars or Harry Potter or Hercules Returns, but Lego creeps in all the time. So it's just Lego around the clock. Yeah, really, which is cool. In fact, it's really cool. That was one of the best things. So it was a double-edged sword. It really hurts being away from your family. Yeah. And I love my job. I love my team. And the kids that I work with. So to not be there and support them, especially the children, to not be able to explain why, hurt.
Yeah.
But it was also really freeing for me not to have to put any energy into thinking what was happening 3 weeks ahead for my kids, like in terms of play dates and what I had to get for dinner, or have we run out of dish soap, and just to be able to go, somebody else is taking care of that, it's all right, just focus on the builds. Because I think at home you kind of have to steal time, you feel like you're betraying your family if you're going to have time with the rigs. So this was lovely.
And how's the reception been from friends and family since you've been on the show? Have you had a lot of positive experiences with family, friends, and even the general public? Have you been recognized down the street yet?
A lot. I get recognized a lot because I think some of the hairstyles I have are fairly distinctive. And that's
You're talking about hairstyles. Imagine walking around with this mop on my head all the time.
It's really funny because like you'll see people and they'll look at you and they'll do that bit where they look and they do that second glance, or they'll elbow it and they go, and you hear it. Children are the best because they think they're whispering and they go, no, that's Lego Masters, mate, Lego Masters. I'm not doing this, no, it's her. And then, or my favourite, and this has happened several times, where they just stop dead, point at you, and go, Lego Masters.
And then just
It's strange when it's an adult. When it's a kid, it's all right. But when an adult does that, you're like, oh. But it's been so positive. I did have one critic in the school grounds who came racing up. It was so cute. Just came running up, and he had this little dimple in his face, and he's like, Miss Kirsty, Miss Kirsty, Miss Kirsty. Saying, you know that robot that you guys built? I was like, yeah, I do. Yeah, he's going, if that was an elimination, you'd be out.
oh,
Brutal, but
wow.
gotta respect it. You've got to respect that.
We've had a question in the chat. So the Swedish Lego Masters winners had posted that they got a whole bunch of Lego from Lego when they got.
I saw that as a surprise. That was insane.
Yeah. Do you guys
it was like
get
2
anything?
pallets?
Do you guys get anything like that?
No.
The previous winners got a whole, like probably about 15 big sets or something, though, like a year later or something.
Okay.
I think it happens after the show has finished airing.
Yeah, I think it's after the show finishes airing. So you will get something, but I don't know if it was pallets and pallets. It sounds like the Swedish people cleaned up a little bit more than
the Swedish one. Like, I think it took him like 4 weeks to unpack all the boxes. It was amazing.
Oh,
yeah, it's worth searching it out, Nicole. Wow, you just be like,
oh. I have a dumb question. This is a burning question that I've had, and I need to know. Everyone seems to be dressing for like they're very warm inside the thing, but don't you get cold because it's a big,
No, like it's a big tin shed. Like I found sometimes in the afternoons you actually get hot and sweaty and stuff. Like
okay,
so and you got so many. I think it's got like lights and cameras and so much gear in there.
You're running.
Like last night's episode, I remember when I saw it, Joss was wearing a jumper for some reason, part of it. And like I remember he was sweating. Like he's like, oh, can I take it off? And they're like, oh yeah, but you have to like still tie it around for consistency and stuff or whatever. But yeah, they put him in a jumper one day, and like he was like, yeah, I felt for him because it does get hot in the day. Like in the morning it's not too bad, but when you're running around and whatever, it was, yeah. But
we were told that you take your own clothes with you, like you aren't dressed by Channel 7.
Yes and no, in that their own clothes. Like, for instance, what I was wearing yesterday, those are clothes that are all by, except for that awful bra they made me wear that I'm like, what the hell is this? It's like, anyway, forget about that. Just mortifying. But yeah, okay, fine. But they put them together in ways that I would never, because I'm colorblind. I go, you have one thing that you wear that can have color or pattern, and then the rest is plain. So to have checks and a color, and the color had like cutaways in it, I was like, no. But anyway, and it was like it's too short for like if you have some skirt, it's got to come down low. And I was like, so although they're items that I owned, they're not the way that I would put them together.
So they curate your own outfit. They put together things that from your outfit and what from your wardrobe.
Yeah, because I contacted some of the previous contestants, like leading up to sort of interviewing and all that kind of stuff, and been sort of knew a bit of the process. And one of the things I got from that was like, oh yeah, you need to have your own clothes. So like a few weeks out, when I thought I got a chance of going on, I was like, I need to get some clothes, because otherwise, like that was otherwise lockdown clothes, like tracky dacks and all that kind of stuff, or sort of business work clothes, and had nothing sort of in between. So I went out and I bought 3 shirts, and I thought that will at least cover me for the first few, and then if I go any further, I'll hopefully order some more online. But I don't know. I felt like being a guy as well. Like I had 2 pairs of jeans that I wore the whole time, and then just different tops, and that's it. Like the same cut of top, just in a few different colors, and just
easy
for being a guy.
I noticed Branko managed to sneak in one of the Lego Brixpo t-shirts.
Yeah. I was a bit jealous of some of the gear that people wore. Like for Branko, for example, like that's the kind of stuff I would have liked to wear. Like his stuff was cooler and geekier than ours. But then also like Henry, he just got to wear like band t-shirts at times and just some other stuff. I found Caleb's attire pretty funny at times, like the way that they sort of styled him and stuff. But I was also jealous of some of the stuff that I do know. I think they did buy like Trent and Paul some shirts, and they got them some really nice shirts, like quality stuff. So
okay,
there's a mix. Like you brought some of your own stuff, and then they would like get some things which they could. So
yeah.
But it's a hard time to buy clothes at that. Everything's in lockdown and take 2 weeks to get to you.
During lockdown, things were taking 3 months in Melbourne. Or maybe even actually, I think it might have been even longer than 3 months. It took my my laptop stand to come in the beginning of 2020 lockdown.
Yeah.
I remember during lockdown, I had a package arriving every day for like 3 weeks. It was just one package after the other.
Yeah. Lego or other stuff?
Lego, yeah. Like just Bricklink orders. I think I did something like 380 Bricklink orders in a period of time.
Did you notice the price of Lego went up during like all this secondhand stuff?
Yes.
Went up during.
Everyone got into the hobby and wanted to find everything. Yeah.
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 Crazy.
Everyone wants to be a Lego master now.
That's it. So do you have a favorite piece of Lego? What's your favorite piece of Lego?
Travis Brick.
Has a whole bunch.
The Travis Brick, of course.
Travis Brick.
Yeah.
Is that
Dan,
the curvy bit with the cutout?
Oh no, it's the it's like
one by one with the 5 studs.
Or 1 by 1 with the studs.
Okay.
Yeah. I go through phases of my favorite brick depending on what I'm working on, kind of thing. So,
okay.
Can't have favorites in life.
Kirsty, we have a request that Sid Lug would like you to join their lug and become a fellow AFOL in the Sid Lug.
Tell them to send me a thing on how, and I'll do it. I'd love to join.
There you go.
I've joined one lug, and it's in what is it? Not Worcestershire, Staffordshire, I think, in England. So I'm never going to be able to show there. So yeah, send me the details. I'm in. I live in Sydney.
Join all of them.
Yeah, you can join mugs as well.
Can I? Done. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Join as many as I can.
Yeah. Are you displaying at any shows in the up and coming shows?
I'm going to show at Newcastle.
Okay.
So that's in July. That's the first one I've ever shown at. In fact, I went to the second one I've ever been at last weekend, and the first one I went was so I could go and see Dan's Star Wars that he did. So yeah, day trip, 3.5 hours there. Stop, do the lap, say hello. 3.5 hours. Worth it. You'll have to stay there and sign autographs or something.
Was it the Canberra one that you did the host, Dan? Sorry.
Yeah, the Canberra Expo that we do at the big sort of club down there. So yeah, it was a good time because of COVID, it got delayed, and that's the one I kind of refer to as my Christmas of the year. Like that's the sort of the thing that I really look forward to each year is exhibiting and just talking to the fellow AFOLs, but then also I like to build things that are engaging with like kids and just seeing their reactions and wowing them and that kind of thing. And I think with actually having more time in between expos, like my Hoth scene just increased every sort of few months as I was working on it. So by the time this one came around, it was probably 4 times the size that I had originally planned if I exhibited it a year or two ago. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Kirsty, what are you exhibiting in Newcastle? Are
Um,
you allowed to say?
Give us well, I'm allowed to, but I'm not 1,000% sure because I've always got about, at least 15 different things that I'm working on. But I really like series. I really like sets. So I've been low key working on an A to Z of movie scenes. So just scenes from random movies that I like for whatever reason, and little bits and pieces. But I like the micro builds. So I want to do some that is like a Brady Bunch thing. So the little bits I'm going to do the backing and put them on that I'm going to have, we might do it as a magic number. So I've got so that the numbers will add up just for me, just because I'll like that. So how many pieces I use this way and it adds up and then this way, So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Complicated.
It was so interesting though, because I went to, like I said, I went to the two shows. So I went to Canberra and I'd never been, and it was just before the show was about to start. And so I was just nobody. I was fine and I was able to look around. But then on Saturday, a group of us that are up in Sydney, we went to the Brick Built in Sydney, and all the families and people were there, were pretty into Lego, and so I had seen the show. And so I got there at 11 o'clock, and 6 hours, I still hadn't got all the way around the first room, to go. And then, the rest of the crew were over at Justice table, apparently. But this security guard was ushering me out because he'd come up and he'd given some people, he's going, okay, just to let you know, it's in 10 minutes, it's going to close. I'm like, oh, okay. And I thought I'd leg it over and say goodbye before. But then, because aside from people stopping you and wanting that little bit of interaction and whatever, you also want to talk to the people who've built, so you can talk about what you love about them, because you're interested in Lego, obviously. And so it was going through, and I realized that when I left, I hadn't eaten or gone to the toilet or had a drink of water for 6 hours. And it was just
just like being on Lego Masters.
It was so beautiful though. Some of the reactions for children, some of the children were so happy to see you that they cried, and you're like, oh, I know, and you're like, oh my God, and it was so lovely to see which things that they most enjoyed. It was just beautiful to see the way people create through these really innocent eyes. So what was in the room, you were asking, okay, what's your favorite? And then they're telling you why, and the reasons were just it's magical. It's only going to last for a tiny little sliver of moment, but it's just a privilege to be able to see the world through these little eyes, and for them to want to come up and tell you because they feel like they know you because they've seen you on TV. Yeah. It's amazing. You should do it. Go, apply, do it.
I went to my first Lego Expo Brickvention 2020, January 2020, and had never known anything about the Lego world. Had only just, Lego Masters just kind of started, I think, the first season and had been aired. And I was like, oh, what's this thing? Apparently there's Lego groups out there. And yeah, me and my partner were blown away. It was just the talent. We're just oh my God, the whole time. We were there probably longer than 6 hours, just running around going mind blown. Yeah. And I still feel that way when I go to them. It's very exciting. I'm very excited for you exhibiting in your first one. Good luck.
Thank you.
So we're getting close to the 7:30 cutoff for the new episode.
Oh, good, because I want to see it tonight.
we might start wrapping things up here. Thank you very much, both of you, for joining us tonight. I'm hoping that we can do another all the Lego Masters come together and do a live stream all together, and we have a session at the end of after everything's all done and said and done. But thank you very much for spending some time with us tonight and answering all our annoying questions that you probably get asked every time. Really appreciate it, and best of luck with the next few episodes. There's only 4 left, right? 4 episodes.
Three. 3, I think.
God, I don't want it to be over. Why do they make it such a short space of time that it starts?
Really did feel short this year.
Yeah.
Did it? Because a lot of people were like, "This is forever." We're like so many episodes in, and no one's gone. Like,
No, not true.
Fierce opinions.
We've loved watching you guys. It's been amazing.
Cool.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank
thank
very
you so
much.
much.
Yeah, it's been,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, have a lovely evening. I hope we get to talk to you soon.
Yeah, I hope we can get you back on the stream. And yeah, all right, best of luck. I will end the broadcast here. Thank you, everybody, for watching
Thank
and
you.
tuning in. And don't
Thank
forget to
you.
watch Lego
Thank you.
Masters 7:30.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.